So based on what you've gathered from all the sources you've looked into in regards to what Ed Reed's role is going to be there at the U, what are you picking up on that end of it?
And that's the beautiful part about him actually being hired, because when the Alonzo Highsmith, hashtag Highsmith, I kind of take credit for that one. Hashtag Highsmith, I got on live and spoke about that. But we ended up getting Coach Ed Reed. And you were able to get not only from Bleachers Report, not only from the University of Miami, from ESPN, all these other places that they were able to actually give us a description of what his job will entail. Now, Ed Reed will be, it's an advisory role. So he's going to be an advisor to head coach Manny Diaz, the players, and also the rest of the coaching staff. He's going to be able to have a hand in strategic planning, quality control, operations, player evaluation, and player development. He also will be able to have a hand in team building, student athlete mentorship, and recruiting. Now, if you take a step back, student athlete mentorship, being able to mentor these young men, they need someone to look up to, that when Ed Reed says something, it means a little different. Just like Coach Manny Diaz spoke about with Coach Blake Baker. It took a while for the players to, when Coach Blake Baker said something, the new defensive coordinator, when he said something, it didn't hit as much as when Manny came over and said, this is the blitz we're calling, this is the defense we're going to go, and you're going to go out here and do it. It was different coming from Coach Manny Diaz as it was coming from Blake Baker. So if we could take that step from Blake Baker to Manny, imagine now having Coach Ed Reed come in and say something to you, the exact same thing. It's going to be impactful, just a tad bit different, with a national champion and an NFL Hall of Famer, and regarded as a top 3 safety of probably of all time, top 5, at least, no conversation, both in college and in the NFL. Speaking to you, that is huge. Now, the biggest thing that I learned today in my research was that he will not be able to go on off-campus visits, off-campus recruiting. But once the young men come on our campus, then he will be able to speak to them and, engage with them and things of that nature for on-campus visits and official visits and things of that nature, but not traveling the road as a recruiter for the University of Miami.
Holsum, one back on the Ed Reed topic. Interesting slant from James Vose on the line. Basically, because you've got one of the great players in the program's history, Ed Reed, one of the great players in college football history, one of the great players in pro football history, a first ballot automatic Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
Does his presence take away from Manny Diaz and the respect level? And as James Vose, I'll basically just read it as he states it right there. Does this make Manny Diaz's job more secure, less secure? If Ed Reed demands more respect than the head coach, does it undermine the authority of the program? I don't know how much Ed Reed is going to be in the locker room. That right. I know he's going to be close to the team, but on a daily basis, I don't know that he's necessarily going to be that close. I don't know.
Right. I mean, for anyone that knows Ed Reed, he's always wanted to be involved with football and coaching. And I personally think he'll be in the locker room probably every single day that he can legally be in there. That's the thing about this job, is it's new. And even the description I gave, it's more of here's the things that his job falls under, as opposed to what he can and can't do, So per NCAA rules, he can do a lot of those things and be around the team and communicate with the team and even go over film and all of those type of things. So to answer that question, it's actually a really good question. I have to be careful in the way that I say this. I think that Ed Reed's respect is going to be something that he won't have to undertone Coach Manny Diaz. He won't have to undercut him. He won't have to disrespect him to get that respect from the players. They already have it for him. I believe that they're going to work as a unit. They're going to get on the same page. When I'm talking about them, I'm speaking to Coach Ed Reed and Coach Manny Diaz. Sit down and come with a way that they're going to come at this team and at the program and moving forward as a unit. Let's sit down and discuss this so that when you speak, Coach Manny Diaz, it's echoed by me. Or when I speak, it's echoed by you. We're working together, not separate. So I don't think that the respect that these players will have for Coach Ed Reed is going to necessarily affect the respect that they will have for Coach Manny Diaz. At this point, I think it's going to go up because they're going to be happy that he was willing to bring Ed Reed in to help the program. So if that answers the question, I don't see it being a big respect issue at all. I think that they're going to, and it doesn't make Manny Diaz's job any less secure. In my opinion, once this works out well, which I think it will, it's going to only make it better because they're going to be working as a unit, not separate from each other.